I'm going to show you a 3-stage protocol for training your neck for combat sports. So why train your neck for combat sports? Regardless of the martial arts you're in, strikers, grapplers, MMA, you should be performing some form of neck training within your workout. For strikers in MMA, there may be a component where you could potentially reduce the risk of concussion, but if you go back and listen to Gary Turner's episode on the Sweet Science of Fighting podcast, I think it is episode 3, that might not be the case. However, better safe than sorry when doing your neck training. Further, neck training can help you finish submissions. Obviously, having a stronger neck in positions where you're doing things like head and arm chokes, you need to be able to have a strong neck to keep that arm in place. Another reason to train your neck is to resist posture breaks. Obviously, within grappling, you have people pawing your head within your wrestling stances or your grappling stances, and you need to be able to resist someone pulling your head in a snap down. Then finally, there's just reducing the risk of injury for your neck. Now, if you have a weak neck and you get neck cranked or you're having to resist your way out of a submission, you'll likely wake up the next day not being able to turn your head. But having a strong, conditioned neck that is used to this beating can help you reduce pain and injury as you go through your training weeks. So I'm going to show you the 3-stage protocol. The reason it's 3 stages is because you don't want to jump into the final 2 stages without preparing your neck, especially if you haven't done any neck training. If you just go to the most intense variations, you're going to have a sore neck like you would at combat sports class when someone's cranking on your neck. So the 3 stages go. Stage 1 is going to be your higher rep concentric work and your longer duration isometric work. Stage 2, you're going to introduce more elements such as rotation. You're going to intensify that work by reducing the length of the isometrics. You're going to also do maximal isometric contractions during this phase. And you're going to also reduce the reps during your concentric work, making it heavier. And in stage 3 is when we get to the reactive portion of neck training, something that is not done often, but is valuable, especially around the striking arts, having to quickly resist strikes to the head. So this is stage 1. I'm going to show you most of these exercises with the iron neck just because it's easier for the video. If you want one of these, down in the description, there's a link that will give you a discount through that link, but you can do these also with just plain resistance bands. Some of them you cannot, but most of them you can. So the first one, we're going to do a 4-way neck isometric. You can do this with a band just around the head. 4 ways means front, back, side, and side. You'll typically hold these anywhere from 10 to 45 seconds. They're not maximal contractions, that is there to build volume. Next, we have one that's exclusively with the iron neck. It's the 360 spin. I like the 360 spin because you get the isometric all the way around. Typically, I like to do anywhere from 5 to 6 spins each way. Don't just go one way, you'll get too dizzy. So go 5 one way, 5 the other way. The final iron neck variation within stage 1, it has a little bit of a rotational component, but it is also isometric, and it is a left and right. And the reason I like left and right is it improves the mobility of your neck and it feels great. So I typically do 5 each side, front and back. So all you need for this stage 1 exercise is a plate. We're going to do a 4-way neck flexion extension. So that means we're doing neck flexion on the front, neck lateral flexion on the sides, and neck extension on the back. Now, you will be stronger with the neck extension. So typically, I recommend people start with 2.5 kilos or 5 pounds for their flexion exercises, so their front, side, and then 5 kilos or 10 pounds for the neck extension. You can also use a neck harness for the neck extension. You don't have to do it this way, but this is just a simple way to be able to show you. So with all those stage 1 exercises, the neck flexion extension, you're looking to go 15 to 20 reps, so it's relatively high rep, low load. When you're doing the isometrics, as I mentioned, 10 to 45 seconds, you want to build up to that longer length. With the 360 spins, you're looking at doing 5 to 6 each way. And then with the left and right, you're looking to do 10 totals of 5 each way, front and back. So in stage 2, we're going to introduce a little bit of rotation to our neck training. And this one is our left and right, but we're going to face sideways to the band. If you're not used to this exercise, you will likely feel a lot of DOMs the following days on the side of your neck. With stage 2 exercises, you're going to do this exact same flexion extension, but you're going to do these now at 10 to 15 reps. So you're going to do these heavier, lower reps. Same thing with the left and right from the side. You're going to do around 10 each way, facing one way, facing the other way. With the 4-way neck isometric, you're now going to do these maximally. So you can pull on the band to make the maximal contractions. You can even use a towel and pull against a towel, or just a resistance band, or have a partner pull on those as well. You're going to hold those for 6 to 10 seconds. So instead of 10 to 45, 6 to 10 is more intense. So now we're into stage 3. Now we're into some of the reactive work. The first one is with the iron neck again. Again, you could do this with a resistance band. It just works well with this. So you could get into your wrestling or grappling stance and have your partner circle around and pull randomly, and you have to react. You can follow them, you can have them stand still, and you can move yourself. There's a lot of different variations. I'm just going to show you one of them. So as you can see there, you can increase the speed, increase the intensity. You can let them move to the side to react to the side. You can always square up and have them in front like you would and imagine have them pulling down the back there. So our second stage 3 reactive movement is with the partner again, sitting on a bench. You're just going to keep an upright posture, and your partner is just going to push randomly against your head in different directions, and you just got to resist the movement. So the reason we incorporate these reactive movements, there seems to be some level of evidence to show that the ability to put the brakes on or produce that force quickly is a factor in potentially reducing the risk of concussion. Regardless, it's just worth doing within your training on top of everything else you're doing regarding neck. Now, where do you place these within your training program? Typically, I like to use these as part of the so-called warm-up or just after warm-up within a circuit, or supersetted with some of your big exercise. For example, you can do your squats, and supersetted with your squats, you can do some of your neck training. It's not stressful enough to impact your bigger lifts, so you can fit that in within your training anywhere, so there's really no excuse not to do it. Now, within these stages, don't be stuck in the idea that you only can do stage 1 exercises in stage 1, stage 2 and stage 2, etc. Just because something is in one stage doesn't mean you can use these throughout your training. For example, that left and right when you're facing front and back, I like to use that all the way through because it makes my neck feel really good. It improves your mobility as you move side to side. It's one of those ones that really reduces pain when I have pain after, for example, jiu-jitsu. So I'll use that all the time. So you can do the same thing if you find an exercise that you really like. You can use those throughout the cycles. Same thing with maybe you want to develop or keep that neck strength going, so using different isometrics. Those can be part of your so-called neck warm-up before you move into some of these more reactive or more intense exercises. Make sure if you like the video, please share it. Down in the description is a link to the Sweet Science of Fighting Underground. It has all the training programs, online courses, private Discord community. Share this to show this some love to the YouTube algorithm.